Greetings, beautiful ones. Reformed Stoic here, back with another video. And this video is going to be entitled, I have not been on a date in 6 years. And that's pretty much it. I mean, at this point, the video could be about anything, because what else is there to say? I haven't been on a date in 6 years. Last date I went on was the one date that I was able to get when I was going to UNLV, which hopefully I will not focus on too much in this video. UNLV, that is, because I pretty much get bummed out anytime I talk about it. Let's see, I was sitting in the library, and a girl I recognized from my lab was walking by, and she was listening to Slipknot, but I didn't know it was Slipknot, I just heard that it was metal. And I was like, hey, what are you listening to? Sounds pretty radical. And she kind of just made it obvious that she wanted to talk to me, like by the way that she responded. Her body language was very open, and she said it was Slipknot, and she's in one of those moods. And I was like, yeah, I used to play drums in metal bands. The whole thing came together pretty naturally. We ended up going to like a jazz club and had some drinks, listened to some music, and we were making out there. We were making out in my parking lot, and she gave me these eyes like she probably wanted me to ask her in. And I said, so hey, how about I make you dinner next weekend? And she said, sure, that sounds great. And that was it. So yeah, the last date I went on, I actually probably fumbled a one-night stand. Or maybe it wouldn't have been a one-night stand. I don't know. It seems like that's the only time I feel like I've ever made that mistake. Like, it was time for the sex to happen, and it didn't. And, if you've been around enough advice forums and whatnot, that is something that people say in the dating advice, self-help, whatever, red-pilled communities, is that when it's time for things to escalate to the bedroom and you don't take it there, that's one of the many ways that you can blow it. And I'd sure like to think that's not something that every man has to experience, but in my defense, I was watching this guy's videos at the time called the 3% Man, and I had used all of his techniques or whatever on the date with this girl, and he basically said that you should not ask a girl in on the first date. But having gone over my interactions with this girl, we had kind of been in contact for a while. Like, it was a first date, but we had gone on a walk around campus one time. It took a couple of weeks for the date to get together. We hung out in the library a little bit. So we had kind of had some interactions that probably made it more like that was our second or third date, because I would talk to her before class and yada yada. So yeah, ultimately, that was a very hard lesson, man, because oh my gosh, I was so down bad when I was going to UNLV. I've been over this a lot on my stream, but that is the most beautiful women I've ever been around in my life. Okay, UNLV is 30,000 students. I had transferred there from Berklee College of Music. I hadn't gone to school in years at that point. I hadn't attended Berklee since 2011, the beginning of 2011. So I went to UNLV 2017. That was my first semester there. So we're talking 6 years. It had been 5, 6 years since I'd been in school. It was just overwhelming, man. I look back on it and think I needed to be part of social groups. You cannot count on cold approach at university, especially if you go there without friends. Like, if you go to a new university and you don't have any friends there, and you're trying to build this new friend circle from scratch, please take my advice. Maybe this isn't necessary for everyone, especially if you know more what you're doing. Maybe you're really passionate about your major, and you're younger than I was. I've already been over these things, but I think they're all important gems of wisdom. One, depending on what university you go to, it is a little bit strange for you to be older than 18 or 19. okay? If you're going to, like, I guess, like a common university, maybe sounds kind of derogatory. I mean, I went to Berkeley College of Music, okay? That's like a very nice, well-renowned music school where it's like, it's a little bit more understandable to go there when you're older. But UNLV, a vast majority of people are going to be 18, 19, fresh out of high school. So if you're 24, 25, you should probably like really heed this advice. But I just say do this no matter what, okay? If you want to, because honestly, when I went to Berkeley, I struggled socially there as well. I didn't really get a friend group going until I actually dropped out and played in metal bands. That's probably like, I don't know, the biggest friend circle I've ever had in my life. Like the best friend circle I've ever had in my life. It was really chill, really cool. I'll always look back on those times fondly. But anyway, no more dancing around it. Join social groups, okay? Like, I'd say for your first semester, take a light semester, 2, 3 classes. And a lot of people will probably tell you you're a slacker. But bro, if you want to have a social life and you don't want to go through what I was going through, like, you need to join groups, join whatever it is you're into, join music groups, or I don't even know what kind of groups there are, man, because I didn't even ever really try that. I don't really know what I was thinking. I remember trying a couple of things at Berkeley, but at UNLV, I did not try any social groups. So that's absolutely mandatory. I talked to a girl that I had kind of like hooked up with once. I asked her how she met her boyfriend at university. She said she met him at some group. So looking back, I think that was my biggest mistake. Cold approach is like the best advice I've ever heard of that, from that, at least I think, because I haven't really tried it, is More Plates, More Dates has a video where he says, when you cold approach a girl at university and she says no, like she's not interested or whatever, you say, you know what, and you kind of have this kind of demeanor, you know what, I'm sorry, I'm just new here. Honestly, I don't really know anybody, and like, I'd be happy to be friends. Like, you want to just be friends? Like, you want to meet here for lunch tomorrow as friends and just tell me about yourself? And all these red-pilled guys are like, dude, that's like so stupid, dude. Men and women can't be friends, bro. Idiot, bro. You're a cuck, dude. You're beta. You know, More Plates, More Dates has a long video where he explains this whole line of thinking. And I actually think it's brilliant. And I think a lot of guys just can't even think about this. You know, some of the girls that I was asking for their numbers, they'd even tell me. One of them even said, like, you know, I'm dating somebody right now, but if you wanted to be friends, and of course I'd say no. I'd think I'm being all like alpha. No, thanks, I'm good. Be a girl's friend. It is a little bit strange, you know. I remember just growing up, there's these kind of like beta guys who you think maybe they're gay, who like hang out with a bunch of girls, and they're kind of one of the girls. But, you know, what I've noticed is that a lot of those guys end up getting married someday. So it's actually, despite what the red pill bro dude guys say, it's not a bad idea to try to be friends with a girl. You know, you're able to talk to a girl and have conversation, and the idea is that she might invite you to something, you know, or you can meet some of her friends maybe, and then maybe one of her friends will like you, or like the idea is that you don't go into it thinking you're gonna like trick her into actually liking you, but maybe it would work out that way, and if it does, then great. But I've never really tried that. I used to just naturally have girls that were friends. In Boston, it was my friends' girlfriends. They would just end up being my friends, and I do believe that you can be friends with women. The whole, like, I just watched this great Jordan Owen video on stream today. It made me so kind of like sad hearing it, how he says just this red pill advice is basically like a trap for autistic men, and I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, that's so true, and it's so sad. Like, I don't even, maybe you'll disagree with me there, but the red pill is pretty much dead, okay? All of the guys who used to be into the red pill, unironically, are black pilled now, or they're, unironically, some autistic guy who's like, listen, bro, never be friends with a girl, dude, and like they actually don't really know anything about women, and So, between that, like joining groups and then asking girls to just be a friend, I think between those two techniques, I would have had more success. Especially the joining groups, because I didn't do anything social. But yeah, so, and then there's the fact that I am pretty certain, thinking about how things went down, like she gave me a ride home. I didn't even ask her for a ride home. She's like, oh, I'll give you a ride home. She wanted to get laid. I had jumped through all of the hoops and did everything right. Just so you know, guys, like if you're making out like multiple times, sex is probably on the table. And I would ask, now keep in mind, we're gonna, people who are Catholics watching this, like, oh, he's talking about secular sex. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to the part where it's like, oh, well, this is like what normies, atheists do, and this isn't even how you're meant to live your life. But if you're just a guy who's trying to like do well with women and get laid, it's not unforgivable to ask for sex and have her say no. But this is the part where it's weird, is you have to try, like this is just another shit test that men have to pass. You have to be doing the math in your head. How much time have we spent together? How many times have we been out together? Because if it's time to escalate it and you don't ask, like me, then you're gonna blow it, okay? Especially because like when you see her next, you'll have been drunk and you were having fun. Like on this date, we were drinking and having fun. And then the next time I see her, it's kind of awkward and I'm kind of clingy and I'm kind of treating her like I think she's my girlfriend. And it was not good. The energy was not good. And then she ended up like pulling me to the side before class and saying that she just got out of a serious relationship. Just brutal, bro. One of the worst fumblings of my life, in a time when ultimately where I was at, I felt like I really needed to get laid and it was right there and I fumbled it. And it was really brutal. And I would go on for the rest of that semester, and then the next 2 semesters, nothing. No girls agreeing to go out with me. I had cold approached multiple different women. Just brutal, man. Just brutal. I got into like a couple of little texting interactions that I probably fumbled that too, but UNLV was really brutal. I'm pretty sure I can, put that topic to rest without getting bummed out like I usually do. I thought, like, I'm older, I'm better looking, I'm more confident. This is it. I'm finally gonna, like, catch up and do better. And it just didn't work out like that. And then, the things I said. The cold approaching is really brutal, guys. You might think, like, wow, I'm cold approaching women and it's not going well. I'm ugly, I'm a black pillar, I'm an idiot. You really gotta hear out what people are saying from women's side, bro, because it's getting to a point where these red pill guys, they just block it out in their head. No, dude, if you're not Chad, like, that's the only reason it doesn't work. It's like, no, you're a strange guy coming up to a woman who's on her way to a class, and you're kind of trying to, like, create this interaction, and it's obvious, bro. You see that she's hot, so you want to talk to her, so you're like, maybe a rapist. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I'm being edgy. I mean, okay, it's like, probably not, but women don't know. Women are scared, bro. Rape culture and like the sense of urgency combined with you want her. It's like, I want you because you're hot, and here I come. Oh, I better hurry. It's like, oh, he better hurry, and he wants me, and yikes. Okay, girls, back me up here. And I don't think, like, you being huge, okay, you're a linebacker, and there's a sense of urgency. It's like, okay, wow, and this guy's really powerful, and there's a sense of urgency. And I think there's some truth to that. Now, the idea is if you're more attractive, you'll be more nonchalant, you'll have better energy, but that setting of between classes, everybody's going somewhere, you don't know each other, you're trying to create an interaction, you guys got to understand that cold approaching sucks. And as somebody who has, because I'm going to try to talk about some of my other dating experiences, we'll go back to like the last date that I really remember from Boston, which also didn't go well in different ways. See, this girl from Boston, segue into that, she was this metal chick who sang Evanescence at Berkeley. Wake me up inside. That was her. She was the girl singing that. really cute, pale white skin, hot. I blew it naturally. But we all went to a show. Like, my little posse, by the way, having a posse of friends, which as a 32-year-old man now, it's like, why would I have a posse, dude? Like, I'm smart. Like, I read books, and on one hand, I think it's kind of like childish to have a posse. You know, I'm watching Friends right now, and they have a posse. Dude, you don't want to live your life like the Friends people, okay? Those people, like, don't do anything deep, ever. People who can never spend time alone, very good chance they're not very deep, okay? It's like they go to their jobs, and then all their free time is in their posse. Now, I'm not saying there's automatically something wrong with you if that's how you live your life. That's how I used to live my life. And ultimately, arguably, very arguably, a lot of things went wrong in my life that have made my life this way. But I don't want to get lost here. So my little posse of roommates, we went to go see a show at the Palladium in Worcester, and this girl tagged along with us. And naturally, it was like, I'm going to go to the convenience store and get some stuff. Hey, you want to come with me? And it wasn't like, it didn't seem like a date at all, okay? It was genuinely an excuse to be alone with this girl and go to a convenience store, you know? It didn't seem like I was trying at all. So when you're in a group setting, you get these opportunities to get to know women. And women will probably tell you, and then guys are like, oh, never listen to women about dating. See, I'm getting to a point where I can see that a lot of red pill advice is actually, like, not very good. That's, like, how you're supposed to meet women. And I'd say a big part of the loneliness epidemic is people are atomized, and a lot of these guys, think about it. Did it start by losing your friends? Like, you didn't have any friends, and then you were trying to get women when you didn't have any friends, and it didn't work out so well, did it? For the record, I also didn't get women when I had friends, but I feel like I had different problems back then. See, I feel like I was more mature and more developed in Vegas, but I didn't have any friends. It just goes on and on and on. But anyway, so yeah, like, I was able to kind of show this girl that I'm this non-threatening, cool guy because we're out together with our friends. So she asks my girl, who's my friend, actually the girl who was in my band, she asks her about me. It's like, hey, what's that guy's name? And so then my friend, who's a girl, comes to me and says, hey, she asked about you. Boom! Like, dude, it's just so much better having friends. It's just so much better having friends and actually having girls that are your friends who want you to do well. Like, if you can have a girl who's your friend, who likes you as a friend, and wants good things for you, she'll try to help you out, dude. Been a long time since I had that going. So, what happened is this other guy, who was taller than me and had better hair than me, ended up swooping in. We were at another show, and he was playing that night, and he, like, walked up to her, he towered over her, I saw him whispering in her ear, and, you know, I was going for her at that time. And anybody who has any significant knowledge about women, it's like, oh, he blew it. It's like, yeah, I'm going for her, dude. Hey, so how's it going with that girl? Like, oh, you know, still thinking about asking her out. Still. So basically, she'd been on my radar for a little bit, and I hadn't done anything. So this guy swoops in, and, you know, in my mind, like, I'm going for her, but in her mind, she's single. So then that was brutal, because we had a party at my place, and he was kind of just coming off as Mr. Cool. He ended up throwing me under the bus. He's like, man, whenever I call Jacob, he's, like, so stoned out of his mind, bro. He's always like, and he, like, barely knows what's going on. He said that, like, while he was sitting next to her on the couch, just kind of, like, putting me down. He's talking about how he had to, like, work a job, and I tried to throw it back at him. He's like, I'm like, oh, hey, bro, so you're saying you had to, like, work a job a bunch. What did you do? And he's like, oh, I just like, bagged groceries, dude. So he's, like, bragging about how he had to work super hard, and his job was that he bagged groceries. So then I'm working one night when I'm a busboy, and my roommate's like, dude, Jake, we're throwing a party tonight, and this girl's gonna be there, bro. Because everybody knew that I was going for her. And I get to the party, and she's there, and then the guy's there, And they're like sitting on the couch, like whispering in each other's ears and giggling. And I'm like getting drunk and being an idiot and arm wrestling my roommate who beat me. Like, dude, don't lose at arm wrestling in front of girls. So yeah, so then they leave together, and then he banged her that night, and I think like the next day, like we had it. Yeah, we had like a date, or no. Later on, I ended up asking her on a date, even though I knew they hooked up, which was pathetic. And it was like the day after he took her like to his beach house. This is real life, dude. So me and her are sitting at this diner, and it's kind of like awkward. The energy's weird because this taller guy had like reamed the shit out of her the day before at a beach house. Okay? And yeah, I walked her back to her place, and I just had that like nice guy energy, dude. I just had that total nice guy, non-threatening, unable to make moves, unable to escalate strategically. I don't know. I don't even know how to analyze all the problems I had. I think the biggest problem I had, guys, was my looks. Like, I needed to shave my head. I had been growing my hair. You know, it was like yay long, and I just had a terrible receding hairline, and somebody needed to be a bro. One of my friends needed to be like, look, Jake, you have a receding hairline. You need to shave your head, bro, okay? Just shave your head, and then wear a hat. Don't wear a hat. Literally, just shave your head. And if you have a noticeable receding hairline, like if anybody's ever given you shit about your hairline, dude, shave your head, okay? Don't give me the, oh, my head looks weird. You just have to shave your head, bro. There's going to be girls who are like, okay, he shaves his head, and I don't think his head looks weird, and I like shaved heads. Boom, you're in, okay? You have to have a look. It's not even looks maxing. It's just not looking like shit, okay? And I looked like shit. So more than anything, that's like the main critique I had back then. So, then one time I walked around a lot with a girl who ended up dating one of my roommates. Just brutal. Just absolutely brutal. I did like hook up with this girl once there who hooked up with everybody. In my hometown, it would be about going to lunch in high school. Like, yeah, I'd just be like, you want to go to lunch in high school? And then we drive to like Safeway or whatever, and that never really went anywhere. Never dated anybody in high school. Tried, failed. Oh my gosh, prom was so brutal. I'd recommend you just don't go to prom if you don't have a girlfriend. Seriously, dude, prom is brutal. You won't miss it. You won't be like, oh, I didn't go to prom. Prom just sucks, dude. And then when in the summers when I came back, I didn't date. I had this like hookup consciousness. It's so weird, bro. It's just all about hooking up. I didn't really understand how it worked at that point. I was very misled, and in my mind, if I dated, it means you're a loser, because like the cool guys just have sex, because I knew of guys who were having sex at parties, and I really needed some advice, man. Like in high school, I really needed somebody to sit down and talk to me, dude. That just wasn't there. That didn't exist. So I kind of think of this video as like a sequel to why I failed with women, and I'll just leave off by talking about pornography, man, because that's something I wanted to touch up on in that video and I forgot. I really think that pornography fucked me up with women. And, you know, there's another guy who I grew up with here, actually, Max K, who's been mentioned a couple of times. We talked about it. You know, both of us struggled with women. Both of us looked at pornography early. Both of us looked at pornography a lot. And we both kind of agreed, yeah, wow, like, I feel like guys who were doing better weren't looking at pornography, at least not as much. And, yeah, that can be kind of like a hidden factor that guys aren't thinking about, especially in, like, the black pill and red pill. Just garbage advice, you guys. At 32 years old, thinking that I'm well-read and wise, I actually think that a lot of red pill guys really give bad advice. And I think a lot of why would you think black pill people give good advice? Like, they're spurgs, dude. They're down bad. But, you know, there's some guys with, like, no fap telling you pornography is bad. But then this is the part where it's like, my faith, I'm a Catholic, fornication is wrong, masturbation is wrong, you're not supposed to lust after women, and that's all the stuff that I'm working on now. And the saddest thing about it is I had no idea that it was bad. You hear it talked about in movies. They joke about pornography in a number of different episodes of Friends. Seth Rogen movies, the beginning of Superbad. What pornography site are you going to sign up for, dude? I don't know. What pornography site are you going to sign up for? TV and movies, and everybody just jokes about pornography like it's regular, like it's not a big deal. I mean, my mom would say, you don't look at pornography on your computer, do you? It's bad, but it's just my mom, Like, oh, yeah, my mom says pornography's bad. My mom says everything's bad. My mom says violent video games are bad. I mean, and then, it's kind of the same line of thinking with drinking and smoking weed. I mean, I wish probably that I didn't drink and smoke weed. I mean, yeah, I've already come to that conclusion. I wish that I didn't. But with pornography, like, you have no idea. They're not really talking about that much in school. They'll mention it in passing, but nobody sits you down and says, listen, you have a laptop. You're probably looking at pornography. You need to stop now. You want to get a girlfriend, right? It's going to blow it for you. Nobody, dude. Just absolutely nobody. That information was not out there. And it just really makes me sad thinking about it, man. Like, you're doing something that's causing so much harm and you just have no idea, bro. It's like kids turning on a car in a closed garage, not realizing that it's killing them. Like, oh, let's start the car with the garage door closed. And they've never heard that, like, people kill themselves that way. Like, you're just doing something that causes so much damage and you have no idea and nobody's stopping you. And I just about draw it to, like, another element of my parents' narcissism, man. It's like, come on, I have a laptop. There's, like, an infinite amount of time, like, that I have alone with my own laptop, with internet access. But it's just kind of that whole, look, with narcissists, you'll get this thing where it's like, are they just, like, clueless? Or are they, like, purposely, like, fucking you over, But, I don't know. There was, like, one time when my mom found something on my computer, and I was just, I just said, oh, that's like a virus, or, oh, I didn't mean to. I had some sort of an excuse, and she bought it. She bought it, man. But, that was probably my worst fear, is that my parents would crack down on my laptop. Like, and I would have rebelled, and it would have been a big deal, but that's the thing, man. Parents out there, you gotta set these boundaries for your kids right out the gate. Like, nope, I know about the internet. I know about pornography. All of us know about pornography. There's no excuses, dude. Like, maybe boomers had an excuse. I know my dad knew about pornography because he was fucking looking at it. And he just didn't really give a shit, And then my mom just was fucking clueless. Just completely clueless, man. And you need to have boundaries for your kids, bro. So I definitely think pornography did something to me. And then the Chad factor is like, it screwed Chad up too, but it doesn't matter because women throw themselves at you. It could still potentially matter. But, I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. So, like, why do I think I haven't been on a date in 6 years? I haven't even really gotten to that yet. I think it's circumstance. Like, the stuff that I've already gone over at UNLV. When I stopped going to UNLV, I didn't do jack shit in Vegas. I didn't leave my freaking home. And that's where I'm at now. I have not been shot down by a woman since UNLV. I mean, I have over Instagram. I can't even tell you how many DMs I feel like I've sent that have been ignored. There was one single mom chick here that, like, I said, hey, you maybe want to watch a movie sometime? She's like, all right, maybe. And then I just never really tried again. And now she's got a boyfriend, but I wasn't really that interested. I was half-assing it. I really think it's circumstance, man. And people be like, oh, it's cope, dude, it's cope. But it's just, take a good honest look at your life, guys. And if you haven't asked anybody out and you haven't been shot down, and I would say that Tinder and DMs don't count, okay? Tinder and DMs don't count. Like, I'm talking like asking women out in real life. If that's not happening, then don't beat yourself up like you're some hideous chud incel, bro. Because you're just not in the game anymore. And that's truly what I believe. Yeah, it was a pretty brutal experience in UNLV, but I've rationalized it at this point. That it's like, you know what, dude? The cold approach, that just doesn't work for a lot of guys. And that is what I've seen. That's what I'm seeing guys say. I've had a lot of years to gather data and intel, and it's like, yeah, guys are not having good luck with cold approach. Guys are not having good luck with Tinder. Guys are not having good luck with DM. So I've had enough time to gather over these 6 years, at least if there's any silver lining, I don't necessarily need to write myself off as some hideous hunchback. Oh! My eyes! I've had enough time to gather, okay, everybody gets shot down in DMs. Everybody fails on Tinder. Everybody fails at cold approach. So I don't, because that's how I kind of felt at the time. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm a hideous, love me. Like, I don't think that's really what happened. Circumstance. And that was the conclusion of my last video, why I failed with women. Roll the dice again, reload my life up again, and it's not go back in time and have the knowledge. It's just play life over again. And then, you know, some things, like, think of your life as a simulator. Like, every time you hit the button, your life starts over. But it's not guaranteed to be the same every time. Maybe you'll make a different decision. Which, if you, like, overthink things and think we live in some weird infinite universe where there's, like, an infinite number of realities, like some Rick and Morty crap, I don't know, maybe you could, like, get stoned, dude, and think about that. Like, whoa, dude, what if, like, I, like, am in a million infinite simulations, dude, and, like, in some of them I take a left, and some of them I take a right. Anyway, the point being, do it all again, and I think I would have done better in different run-throughs, because I honestly think I've just had genuinely a lot of bad luck. And they have the saying, you make your own luck. Well, your good looks, you're going to feel like you have better luck when you have good looks. So, looking good will give you more luck. Being Chad will give you more luck. Not fucking yourself up with pornography will give you more luck. So there's a lot of things that, like, didn't help, man. And that all added up to, like, okay, this is your odds of making it work with a woman. But I definitely think, you know, having more friends, being smarter at UNLV to put myself in a position to be more social. And guess what? Around that time, I was on 4chan. That's when the red pill stuff was a lot more fresh, and I thought I knew all this stuff, and I was, like, really edgy and far right, and that wasn't helping at all. That wasn't helping at all, man. So that's pretty much it. Why do I think I haven't been on a date in 6 years? Circumstance. Once again, it would be different if I had asked out a bunch of women and they're all saying no. I have not come across a woman who I think I should ask out here. And then there's just the fact that I'm in my hometown. I mean, let's just put aside all the stuff that's happening in my life right now, which is completely crazy. It is a big part of the reason I'm not being social here. I already had a bad reputation here. Before that, bro, I already had people who had problems with me here. And you know, I don't even really think I'm the problem. I think the way people have reacted to my channel, like, yeah, I said some screwed up things, but what about my explanation? What about what I say I'm going through? And why didn't you come to me? You know how many people have come in my message box on Facebook? Jake, I just saw this clip of you saying all this racist stuff about natives. Like, what are you doing, dude? You know how many times I've gotten that message? 0 times. You know how many people have come into my message box saying, dude, what's up with your channel, bro? 0 times. Not one person has confronted me about my channel. In my message box or in person. You know how many people I've seen talking about me online, not to me? I don't know, like 40? I don't think I'm the problem, dude. I think people here are crazy petty. But you know, what does it matter what I think? I went on a racist rant and I yelled at Uber Eats. So I can meet people halfway, dude. But when you're not even going to like talk to me about it and you're going to go off into a corner and gossip, whatever, dude. I can't sit here and act like I'm the problem, okay? Clearly I got some crazy shit going on in my life, but I just don't think I've never been in a place where people are more gossipy than here, dude. People say, oh, Kodiak, that's where there's the really tough, badass fishermen. It's a bunch of gossip girls who sit at the bar and, did you hear about so-and-so? Like, that's, as somebody who's lived here and was born and raised here, that is my impression of this island. It is the absolute most gossipy place you could ever possibly live, dude. Ever. Yeah, so hopefully I move out of here soon, and hopefully it's to the place where I belong, and hopefully I get back out there with dating again, because I feel like I'm in the prime of my life physically. I think I'm better looking than I've ever been, and yeah, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with me. Crazy, right? I really don't. So that's it. That's my video. Hope you guys enjoyed. God bless. I'll see you in the next one.